Hi, it's Gary Ford from Tiger Hobbies Limited. This is a quick video just to cover our latest arrivals off the container that's literally just landed on Friday the 27th of March 2026. Now, it takes a while to admin it first and then start to issue it, but all these models you see on camera and the others I'll show you should be at our retailers by no later around about the 1st of April. So keep your eye on our retailers over the next 3 or 4 days. Certainly early part of next week, and most of these will be listed on our website for our retail customers from early next week. So let's have a look at what's arrived off the container. Starting down on the left is RM5152. It's a 1/35th scale Tiger 1 middle production, full interior detail with clear parts such as hull and turrets. If you're going to spend all day building an interior tank, at least you can display all your hard work. Price on this is $69.99. So for the value, you can see you get lots of accessories like I think metal barrels and things like that, and etched parts and stuff. So it is really good value. Just above that is a couple of Kotare items come off the container. The bottom one is K32006, which is a Spitfire Mark V early. The box decoration is the US Army Air Force, probably the 4th fighter group when they converted from the three Eagle squadrons into the 4th fighter group at the back end of 1942. I've just been listening to the Al Murray and James Holland podcast called Warbirds or Men of Liberty, whatever they're called. It's been really superb listen. This one is $89.99, a little bit cheaper than the other distributors, I think around about $109. Above that is K32009, which is a Messerschmitt BFK 109 K4. Now, because we're late to the party with this, and a lot of people have paid, well, good money for it, £90 plus, our trade distribution will get this at a fantastic price to retail at just $74.99. That is a superb price. So, if you've not got the Messerschmitt K4, rather than paying $100 for it, get it from Tiger Hobbies Distribution for $74.99. Superb value. On top, you'll just about see it is a Magic Factory 5004, a 1/48 scale Royal Navy Fleet Air Ram Corsair Mark II, in service with the Royal Navy from 43 onwards. We got them onto the carriers fairly quickly. The US Navy didn't get them onto the carriers until the back end of 44. It was the Royal Navy who sussed this very slow curved approach onto the carrier so the pilot could see right over that massive nose with that massive Pratt & Whitney R2800 engine. It went to the US Marine Corps and performed brilliantly in the Solomons with their US Marine Corps. This is $36.99. It's popular restock and now back in stock. Just below that is quite a large model. It's in 700 scale, but it is of the brand new Gerald R. Ford class carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford. And obviously many people watching the news will realise that the USS Gerald R. Ford and I think the USS Abraham Lincoln are out in the Middle East on Operation Epic Fury. I think about to be joined by a 3rd carrier group, if I'm not mistaken. This is a wonderful model. It's big, even in 700 scale, and comes with extra aircraft. So you get, I think, almost 30 aircraft and helicopters on board. So superb at $69.99. Just below that is 16GM0010 from Gecko models. And this is a 1/16th Panzer Jaeger II with Pack 40. A kind of early tank destroyer servicing the Western Desert on the Eastern Front. With the incredible German Pack 40 anti-tank gun. This is a big model with lots and lots of detail in 1/16th, and it's $119.99. Again, I'm quoting recommended retail prices. Our trade distribution network are free to sell at what they like, so please shop around. Down on the turntable is the star of the show off this container. We bought almost 1,000 of these. This is the British Infantry Tank Mark I A11 Matilda 1 by Gecko Models, catalogue number 35GM0063. As we bought so many and got the best price possible within our core range, this is just $29.99 retail. If you're buying this from grey importers, and there are grey importers out there, they're selling them upwards of 50, so good luck with that. Be a bit patient, wait till it gets to our distribution, our retail network, and it should be no more than $29.99. Superb value. Just up on the right is a popular restock. It's RM5039. Challenger 2 TES. TES stands for Theatre Entry Standard. This is the Challenger with all its additional armour. So once it goes close to something like 75 tons. But it is the best protected tank in the world. As seen in Ukraine. The Ukrainians have lost 2 or 3 of these in action, but none of the crew have been killed or seriously injured. So a testament to the best protected tank in the world with an incredible gun. And are the UK MOD throwing the baby out with the bathwater by getting rid of this 120mm L130 rifle gun that can take tanks out at 5 and 6 kilometres? Possibly. I would find some vehicle to stick it on. Maybe a kind of posh version of a Jag Panther. Because in defence, there's nothing wrong with that gun. Below that is the Sherman Firefly, late production, RM5153. This is $49.99. It's about £10 more than our normal Firefly. But this comes fully loaded with all the extras with 3D printed parts, etch parts. So really good value. Below that is a 1/9 Magic Factory 1405 under CBR 1000 Fireblade Black Edition. We've still got, I think, a little bit of stock of the early blue, white one and the red one as well. But these, for the 1/9, are the best value. Others are selling these 1/9s at anything up to £140. Our Magic Factory one is $89.99 and it's fully pre-coloured, so there's no painting required. You can actually put it together without glue, but we do recommend a little bit of glue. So that's what's arrived with the container. There's some few more bits as well, so let's get those on the table as well to show you. What we've got now is Vespid, a restock. This is Vespid VS720017 and 17S. The S is the upgrade version, and this is the 72nd scale Centurion tank Mark 5/4 of 4 Royal Tank Regiment. So this is your typical Cold War British Army on the Rhine tank. Some say the greatest of all time, probably the best tank ever invented for its time in combat and time in service. Still in service with South Africa as a heavily modified tank called the Oliphant. This thing was designed in 1943, tested in back end of 44, and they tried to rush it into service at the very back end of the war, but just a little bit too late. But it's been in service for years. But these Vespid models are, when it comes to 72nd scale, nothing literally touches them. They've literally got as much detail in this as a 35th scale tank, but not a huge price. So the standard version is about $21.99. The upgrade version is $24.99. So let's have a look at a couple new rifles as well. So down on your left, is RM5150. It's an M50 Mark II Super Sherman based on the M4A4 Hull. HVSS stands for horizontal volute suspension system rather than the VVSS on the early Shermans. But this one's unusual because not many M4A4s serve with the US military. Most of them ended up in the with Britain, as I said, Britain, China, Canada, and Russia. But obviously, when Israel first declared independence in 1948, wherever it was, they were on the shop for armoured vehicles, and Shermans were on the top of the shopping list. So a lot of their Shermans are basically hybrids. So this is an M4A4, which should be the Chrysler multi-bank engine. It's got the upgraded, HVSS suspension, horizontal volute suspension system. It's got a standard Sherman turret. It hasn't got the big T23 turret, but it's got a long-barreled French 75. And these things were in service well into the 60s, 70s, and possibly 80s. And that's $49.99. And just to the right is RM5154. It is a SDKFZ 234, so the 8-wheeled armoured car, this time in its fast reconnaissance version. So it's just got a small turret with a 20mm cannon there for reconnaissance. This has got interior detail, and again, it's around about $49.99. It's a superb value. So let's have a look at the last one that's come off the container. This is from the Gecko. It's part of the Spartan series. So the FV103 CVRT stands for Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Full Track. The British military have fallen out with this thing, but it's a bit of a shame, and I'll talk about that briefly once I've described the kit. So the kit is exterior detail only. It's got loads of detail on the side, so it's upgraded. It's very much similar to the standard British Army Spartan. Ours were equipped with the L37 electrically operated 7.62mm, basically a GPMG, electrically operated GPMG. This one's been modified to take the M250 cal. This is again lots of detail, and it's $44.99. We haven't brought a huge amount of these in. I'm waiting for when we do a British Army one, which is coming, which is 35GM 0053. Now, going back, these were designed at the end of the 1960s, and it was revolutionary when it came out. It's in like an aluminium, kind of upgraded aluminium armour. No, it's never been a main battle tank. It's not going to stop a 120mm round or any kind of round, really. But it will stop maybe an M2 round. It'll stop, or Dusker round, 1277. It'll stop 7.62 or standard military cartridge rounds, and obviously indirect artillery fragments. But its trick is the fact that it's fast. You know, it's 60 mile. This thing was 60 mile on the road, and you could really push it out on the off road as well. And its ground pressure. This thing had less than ground pressure than a human foot. It could drive over soft ground where you couldn't walk. And the Ukrainians are finding out that this is when they first got it, they thought, oh, we can get a bit of an old scrap heap here. You know, the British Army is about to pay £10 million for the Ajax, or the Ajax family, and this thing can be had fully working for about £50,000. In fact, the British Army were dumping them for a few £100 or a few £1,000s. A lot of them were bought by farmers who stored them in fields. And then when the Ukraine war kicked off, these people are making big money selling them to the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are actually falling in love with this vehicle. They've modified it slightly. It's a basic machine. You don't need a computer degree in computer science to start it. It's just a basic, you know, switch it on, turn it on, and off it goes. And it's being used on the flanks of the battlefield. It can say drive where a lot of tanks can't, especially in that period where you've got that, is it Rasputa? That's this mud that's in Ukraine. So it's got a commander, driver, and gunner, and then it'll have a 4 dismount crew in the back. So that could be an anti-tank team, it could be an anti-drone team, it could be an anti-aircraft team. And it's been a superb little vehicle. And I think the British Army is going to miss this thing. Not saying that we should build new CVRTs, but its principle of design. A fully air-mobile 12-ton vehicle that can go 60 miles an hour. It's got the ground pressure of less than a human foot and is quite small. So today's battlefield with drones needs agility, and speed is certainly back in fray. So that covers all the new models that just come off the container. And they should all be at our retailers for around about next week, Wednesday the 1st of April. And 1 or 2 will be listed over the weekend. So again, once again, thank you very much. The next main container will arrive in approximately 2 months' time. And I'll go through that when that arrives as well. And any new arrivals, we'll make these little arrival videos. So once again, thank you very much.